Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Expanse. Today we are watching Season 1, Episode 6, which is called Rock Bottom, which is a little bit ominous, but I'm sure it will be a fun episode. Last time, Holden and his crew got in contact with this guy called Fred Johnson, also known as the Butcher of Anderson Station. It was revealed in a flashback, he ended up destroying a ore refinery that was trying to strike for better conditions for their kids. And this Fred Johnson guy destroyed it. And this is the guy that the crew of the newly named Roshanandre are going to try and get help from. I think I said that right. I don't know. I may have said it right, may have said it wrong. Roshanandre. Close enough. We'll pick it up. It's only been named for one episode. What else happened? So that's happening with Holden and his crew. They've got a ship now. Holden has his face plastered across all the news boards because the OPA and the Belters are using him as a figurehead, essentially, after he sent out the message. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. And Miller's been following a whole bunch of different clues. So there's something to do with Phoebe, there's something to do with the Canterbury and the Scopuli and now the Donager. And the name that was mentioned of the ship was the Anubis, which I guess that's... I think they're OPA extremists who are behind this at this stage, who are different from generic OPA people. There's a lot of factions in this. So yeah, Miller has been hunting for information. He followed some clues and got a little flash drive, memory stick, USB port, flash thingy. I don't know what it's called, but something that probably has information on it. And then he got kidnapped. Yep. So I guess we will find out what happened to him in this episode. Yeah, I don't have that much to talk about before we start the episode. We didn't get any Christiane last episode. Haven't seen that much of her lately, so I'm looking at the first scene of this episode and it looks like it's Earth. So that suggests we might see some more of her this episode. Anyway, I think that is enough from me. I have my tea here today because it's a cold day in the middle of winter. You guys in the Northern Hemisphere better appreciate your summer at the moment because I'm not appreciating this winter. Anyway, that being said, let us get into this episode.
I need to borrow your spy on Tycho Station.
Tycho Station. That was where...
Keep an eye on Fred Johnson.
Yeah, so that's where Holden...
Mormons for their toilet seats.
Well, you
Okay.
can't have him.
Why not?
Isn't that enough?
Her jewellery today.
How's
I mean,
your son? Is
on
the-
point outfits, as always.
He's up for
But the
parole
jewellery
soon.
really pulls it all together.
You're really gonna play that card?
So does Christiane know that... I'm assuming Christiane doesn't know that Holden and his crew are going to Tycho Station. It sounds like she's just worried about Fred Johnson and is suspecting he's behind the stealing of the fleet and everything.
Holden, son of a bitch.
There
That's
you are.
very white.
You either some kind of genie, I'll give you safe harbor, and I'll get rid of that ship for you.
No one's getting rid of our ship.
Watching vessels come through Tycho.
The white light behind Johnston in this scene is absolutely fascinating to me because it looks like he's just standing in a white void.
You want to continue to play games? Or shall we talk about how to help each other?
He also seems to know what he's on about. Ooh, Miller time. Who are
I'm Lita.
these people?
My brother Kaipo.
You can't do that
Oh.
to him.
Okay, I was wrong.
He's Star
Who's
Helix.
this guy? Whose name I still have not picked up yet.
I take it then that you don't cut your skin.
Thanks for sharing.
The comments told me that that's what Naomi's tattoos were,
Interested in him?
as a homage to those scars.
How long depends on you.
Okay, so I completely misread that OPA guy, I guess. He seemed like a cool dude who was pretty chill, but obviously he has something else going on.
Hey,
This is bringing
what's taking so long?
all my fears of underwater swimming,
Hurry up,
cave swimming.
or you'll be back stealing water on series.
He just opened his mask in space. How does that work?
Once all the shooting got started, it was over.
But, really like her shower. It's great water pressure.
Honestly,
No.
it's not bad to cover up.
With you as governor,
So, does he have something
Great
to do
idea.
with
you know?
the Anubis and the
Scopuli
Scopuli and
disasters have been
everything?
fish.
You're in love with Julie, Mom.
I feel like that is not true. He's just using it as a cover up. Because if it is true, I'm gonna be unhappy.
By the time we secure the hall, half will be lost. I'll barely make enough to cover the trip.
I like how undramatic that explosion was, because it happened in space.
Power down and prepare to be boarded.
Scipio Africanus.
What do they want? What god gives you the right to life's riches, huh? You set up your zones, tell us where we can and cannot go. You living belly full with your glass palaces, while half my people are starving to death? How is
Feels
this justice?
very similar
Skinnies
to the
want to take credit
Mars.
for blowing up the Donager. We'll give you justice with both hands.
What are we gonna blow up your big Martian warship with, huh? Get a pebbles?
Feels similar to the Mars attitude towards Earth.
Have a nice day. That's your problem, not mine.
I appreciate how much personality these side characters have, even if that personality is being a jerk.
I'm gonna rig the Rossi so it only responds to my command.
Rossi.
Look,
I'm glad we cleared this up.
Ooh, Amos is not happy.
You should have said something.
He's telling you now. But yeah, there were probably other opportunities.
And 3 other sisters to think about. Our family was starving.
Did he let her die?
So you killed her.
And that makes me a monster.
Is this another flashback? That sounds like that Rile up dude on series though. What is going on with this bit? What is happening right now?
He's a private citizen, Christian. He can't go squeezing his
Oh, this is my favorite outfit so far.
asked to borrow his spy on Tycho.
That's gorgeous.
Why are you interested in Fred Johnson?
He has blood on his hands and wants
color.
redemption. While Earth and more.
Fred Johnson turned his back on Earth. The OPA killed your son. You sure this isn't personal?
Yeah, I guess you must have been as happy as a puppy with 2 peckers, right? I didn't mean it like that. Like what?
Yeah, you tell him, Amos.
I'm gonna stop talking. 2 more, please.
Yeah. Explain the joke,
honest
Alex.
It's more honest than most. I was married.
Oh, he was, man.
Out on a run, all I could think about was getting back home.
So is the
Lying in my
picture
bed, all I
people
could
being
dream
dead?
about was getting back out here. Big Brass said I didn't have what it takes to...
Oh, now he gets the airlock treatment. Although I'm thinking they're probably going to actually just eject him, not drain the air from the airlock like he did with the other guy. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's her.
You can only live so long.
With a boot to our necks, Sasuke.
Uncle Mateo.
I was listening to the Radical podcast.
We'll be okay.
Singlong, you are an unauthorized intercept force.
He's now trying to make a point.
Someone will find you out there.
Is someone gonna find him out here? I feel like... Oh, that was cool. That makes me so excited. The way that you don't hear anything, you just see the explosion in his reflection. I enjoyed that. But yeah, floating in space like that would be absolutely terrifying.
All those bullets flying?
He has a face shape that really suits a hat. Is that a weird thing to say? Is he gonna recognize Holden from the riots and stuff?
Appreciate that. It's terrible advice.
Yeah. Yeah, let's maybe not repress. I am enjoying their relationship. And I feel like that was a dad mode moment. And like...
What are you doing?
I feel like Miller is one of those kinds of people where if you
at
are...
Julie's.
Where he doesn't get attached to people very quickly or well, but if you become one of his people, then he will protect you no matter what happens. And he is reasonably emotionally open when he wants to be. Like, he kind of does seem like that noir, repressing emotions kind of character. But like, this scene shows that he's willing to open up to people, to comfort them, and that kind of thing. But I don't think he would open up to people if he was the one who needed comfort.
Spare us a speech.
The ship's ready.
Is Amos here?
Are you? I guess we lost Amos.
Oh, he'll be here in a sec.
Crew!
Okay.
Is Fred Johnson gonna let them all go?
Put on some coffee.
Because that's all of their
You people drug a hard bargain.
You got our recorded statements.
There we go. Is she related to the guys in that rock hauler thing? Oh, that's cool.
Miss Miller, should I even ask?
I figured it out. Most of it, anyway.
I'm seeing molecular reactions.
Oh, this is
vibrational resonances
what was on the
all
thing.
across the
Okay.
spectrum. Can you hear me?
Where'd it come from?
Phoebe, that's what I think. Phoebe Station.
Oh,
I mean, where'd you get it?
from
Julie
Phoebe.
Mao. She bought that from a data broker. She gave it.
Copies?
No, it's encrypted. You can't copy it.
Erase Detective Miller's case files and cancel all his clearances.
Oh, she's in on
You're
it.
fired.
She's in on it.
Dolls.
Gives you any problems, feel free to shoot him.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh, so Shadid is OPA, or at least is being paid by the OPA. I like the running coffee thing with Holden. It's little character things that I appreciate. So is it just the 4 of them, or did they take any crew from Tycho? Right, well, the plot thickens. We learn some more things. Shadid and the Star Corps? That should have been a thing I wrote down. I thought I would remember that one. Nova Corp? Anyway, Shadid and the security police guys appear to be on the payroll of the OPA, who I think that, I'm assuming that they are, the guy in charge of them is the guy who kidnapped Miller, whose name I still haven't quite picked up. Yes, so I guess Miller has been fired, which means he has a chance to go rogue, maybe, and figure out his own thing. His friend, I did notice that he lied to Shadid when she asked if anyone else knew. He said no, but his friend, whose name I also have not picked up yet, was there with him, and she knows. I guess the 2 of them and maybe Havelock will have a chance to team up. Maybe Havelock's girlfriend as well, and the 4 of them will team up and try to solve things. Bioweapon, yeah, that's kind of important. Let's talk about that, shall we? So Phoebe Station was developing a bioweapon of some kind, which someone has. We don't know who. So they have this bioweapon, and then the Scopuli intercepted the ship that had it, or the Scopuli was taking it somewhere, or something happened. Yeah, so we don't know where this bioweapon is now, but whoever has it is the one who's presumably behind the destruction of all the ships and that kind of thing. We've got 2 main factions of OPA. We've got Fred Johnson and his people on Tycho, and we've also got the guy on Ceres who kidnapped Miller. But yeah, so we kind of got those 2 factions, and I don't know how connected they are, like how on the same page they are, because the Ceres guys seem to be kind of not condoning what the others were doing. But then he also did kidnap Miller and almost killed him and tortured him a little bit, so who knows. What else have we got? We had that little interlude kind of aside thing with Tycho, his name is, and his uncle, which doesn't seem to have that much of a connection with the wider story yet, but I'm sure it will tie in at some point. Maybe the Roshiandre and her crew will pick him up. Side note, I do really appreciate that they've already given their ship a nickname and seem to be very attached to it, and they've been on it for like a day. I am enjoying that, and it kind of tells me that it's okay to get attached to the ship as well. I'm attached to the ship. I like ships that have a personality. I like it when the ship has a character and a personality. So one thing I noticed about the OPA is that they are very like family oriented. They pick up the people who feel like they've been wronged, who feel like they don't belong. And I feel like that is very reminiscent of some modern movements. Like, I was saying last episode that Julie got picked up by these people who gave her a place to belong. And I mean, that's the best way to recruit people, right? Is to say, you know, we are your family now. We are your brothers and sisters. We share the same goal, and etc. And that's all well and good and fine. And it, you know, it's a very biblical attitude, because that's what the church is like in many ways, is that kind of sense of family and siblings and sharing the same goal. When it gets dangerous is when it turns into everyone else is wrong and we will hurt everyone who doesn't agree with us, which I think the OPA kind of leans into a little bit. But yeah, it's interesting because I mean, that's the point, right? Is you kind of do sympathize with them, and the close-knit family vibes that you get are appealing. And I guess that's why Julie was, or partly why Julie was so radicalized by the OPA, and why so many people are actually on board with it, is because they offer this sense of home and community and family. But they also offer action and like something to do, and yeah, that something is striking out in anger and in violence, which is where these movements become dangerous. The OPA killed Christian's son, which I think is something to note. And that's why she's so insistent on figuring out what's going on, I guess, because it's a personal thing to her. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see how that develops and what that story actually is. We learned a bit more about Amos and Alex and their backstories. I'm quite enjoying Amos. He seems like a pretty cool dude, and I appreciate that he didn't let Alex make jokes at the, I'm assuming they're sex workers, expense. That kind of like, why is this joke funny, man? Come on, tell me. And Alex is like, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. So Alex was married, but it sounds like he isn't anymore. So the picture of the lady and the kid, is that his wife and kid? Are they still alive? Did he divorce? Like, what's going on there? But yeah, no, it was cool learning a little bit about the two of them. Still don't know that much about Naomi, but she's looking for someone. I suspect, my theory at the moment is that the Daigo kid and his uncle are relatives, because she was saying she's looking for someone, so maybe she's looking for like her brother or her cousin or something who is Daigo, who went missing. I don't know. I don't even know if that little snippet happened in the same timeline as the rest, because last episode we had a flashback from 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm interested, or looking forward to seeing what happens next. Miller has been fired, so that gives him more freedom. Not that he's actually been very restricted by being part of the Nova Corp. I think that is not the right title, but yeah, now he doesn't have his special passes and whatnot, but his friend does, and if he can get Havelock on his team as well, then maybe the three of them can figure it out. I did want to talk a little bit about just Miller's character, because he does have that protective streak in him, and it can be seen as paternal, but it, you know, it's also just being a good friend or whatever. And his friend, whose name I forgot, who saved him, seemed to be wanting to go in for a kiss there, and I think they have had some history romantically, but he kind of pulled back. So he's, yeah, don't know where I'm going with that one, but I'm noticing things about his character that I'm still kind of piecing together. I'm hoping so badly that they don't have weird age gap romances. I would so much rather it if he has, I don't know, I am a big fan of platonic relationships, and I think I prefer it when people have platonic relationships often. And Miller seems like the kind of guy who will have great platonic friendships and relationships. And I know what he was saying when he was asked if he was in love with Julie. I don't think that is true at all. I think he was just saying that to kind of get more information. I'm going to be really disappointed if it is true, because he seems old enough to be her dad, and that would be a much more interesting relationship to me than if he was romantically interested in her. And I would be very disappointed if he was romantically interested in her. His friend, cop, lady, I need to figure out her name one day. But that I'm less, if it does go romantically, like whatever. But again, I find it so much more interesting having strong friendships between males and females. Like, not everything has to be a romance, guys. Come on. Anyway, that being said, he has a protective streak. And I like that even though he was nearly the one who died, because he had more experience and more understanding of how to deal with these things, he was the one who ended up comforting her and kind of helping her out. And hugs! We had another hug! And it meant nothing, except I'm your friend and you're having a tough time, so I'm going to give you a hug. Love that. More of that. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Here's bismuth again. Yeah, I will leave you guys there. I will see you again next week. So you guys go off and grab a drink, get a snack, have a nap, go for a walk, go do something else, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.